In today's video, we will take a look at another review, and in this time, this will be a review come tutorial of Cyberlink PowerDirector 18. Hi, my name is James. If you are new to my channel, I review software and other forms of tech to help you build a better business, leverage your time and effort so that you will gain more customers and be able to have more fun doing your business. I've already installed Cyberlink PowerDirector 18 on my computer, and there's two versions, and I just want to let you know at the start that this software is a paid software and it is only for Windows, and there are actually a few plans that you can go for. Now there are actually two versions. One is an Ultra version and the other one is an Ultimate version. The Ultimate version is slightly more pricey, and my review is on the Ultra version. So with that out of the way, let's go straight into this PowerLink Director. Now it comes with a screen recorder as well. So let me just show you quickly. So this screen recorder is also pretty nifty in a sense that you can record your screen as well as record whether it's your gameplay, or you can even record a portion of your screen. You can select video resolutions, video frame rates, as well as mouse clicks. So let's power up PowerDirector. Now when you start PowerDirector, there's a few options to select the aspect ratio. In this version, you can go 360 degrees video, even square videos, which is very popular for Instagram and Facebook, and of course your regular videos here as well. Okay, and there's also a few options to choose whether you want to go for auto mode, full mode, storyboard mode, which we will cover as we go along. Okay, now first I want to let you know there is also a Slideshow Creator. Now this Slideshow Creator will actually be very helpful if you just want to throw together some images and make a quick video without doing too much editing. Okay, so for example, you may want to just make a holiday video to maybe update your friends, or just as a greeting video, or even a marketing video, and that will actually make it very easy to create such a video. Okay, so you can actually import an image folder, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to import this media, and this folder here has some mixture of video clips and images as well, but this Slideshow Creator will actually just select the images, and I can actually select or rearrange this if I want to. So all I need to do is to click on next and actually select the format that I want. Okay, for example, you can do cells, camera, normal. So I'm just going to do something called motion. All right, and next I can select music. Okay, you can use your own music, or you can actually use the music that you can get from Cyberlink PowerDirector. You can download a small sample of it and use them. Okay, so I'm just going to use this. Okay, and click on OK. And let me turn the volume down a little bit so that it's not too loud, and click on OK. So you can get to select whether you want to have fade in and fade out for the music as well. So let's click on OK. Let's preview this recording. So there's 4 images here, and let's play this. Okay, so it is pretty nifty to create some quick videos from fixed images. Okay, so these are pictures I took for Christmas. So once you're happy with it, you can actually just go to production and create that video. Of course, if you're not, you can make some changes. You can go for advanced editing and edit some of your videos as well. So that's something I want to let you know about this Slideshow Creator if you want to create a video quickly, and it is actually quite useful for the purpose. Okay, so let's dive straight into full mode. Okay, and PowerDirector will also import some or sample videos or sample media for you to play around. For example, there's a JPEG, there's a beach, okay, and this is an MP4 Extreme Sports. So this is actually the preview window when you select that beach. Okay, and if you play it, okay, there is a scene over there, you can see, and this is actually 360, and you can see this here notified as 365 or 360 degrees, not 365. Here as well, this is 360. Now this is actually a normal 2D video, and play this with the buttons over here. Play, go forward. Here is actually to seek, and here is actually to take a screenshot. For example, you want to export this capture. For example, you want to do a thumbnail. You can actually select the scene that you want, click on this, and you actually take a snapshot of that screen here. Okay, here is actually to adjust the volume, and this is actually the volume when you preview. It's not actually the volume when you create that video. All right, here is whether it's a 3D video or standard 2D. You can change this. And finally, here is whether you want to undock the preview window. All right. Now, next is actually the top part here. There's 4 main menus. One is actually the capture menu for you to do your screen recording, or whether you want to. Let's click on this and see. Okay, for example, you can capture your screen or your webcam. You can do that. For example, if you want to do some voiceover, okay, you can capture from the microphone. Here is capture from external or optical device. So you have various options here, but most of the time you'll be spent on editing. This is at the moment grayed out is actually the produce or the export section, and of course finally is to burn it to disk. So let me just import some media, or import some of my files to show you how it can be done. You can actually just select it from a folder and drag and drop it onto this media here. So let me just show you two. This is the video, and you will notice that it is importing. Okay, let me import some images as well. So just drag and drop it, and it's inside. Okay, and let me just do another one here maybe. Okay. Okay, so this is the clip that you can see here. You can see some icon over here. It will let you know what type of clips it is, the duration, and the settings. Now you can also make some changes here to the menu. Okay, for example, you want to have medium icons, you want to have extra large icons to see things a little bit better, or if you prefer to see the details, you can also do that. You can see the duration, the size, whether it's being used on the timeline or not. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the small icon. Okay, here is actually the timeline. Okay, and if you open this up, you can see that it will give you a description. This is the video track, audio track, effects track, again the video track and the audio track. You can actually change the name of the track as well. Okay, so let's say this is my top track or track 1. So you can track 1. Okay, you can change that. Okay, and you can close it back if you don't need it. So let's try and bring some clips onto the timeline. I'm going to bring this in. This is actually okay. Let me show you together. Now let's bring this down. This is just a Christmas clip. Bring it to the timeline over here, and let me just play this. Okay, it's just a simple clip that I shot for Christmas. Here there are menus, whether you want to disable this track. If you hover over it and click on this or uncheck it, then this track will be disabled. If you want to mute that audio or disable the audio track, you can do that as well. Okay, and to zoom in, all you need to do is to click on this. You can actually zoom in. You can also zoom in with your mouse button as well, the mouse wheel rather. So that allows you to zoom in. Okay, so let me just bring in a different track as well, or rather a different clip. So let me bring this in. Okay, and this clip here is vertical because shot on the phone, and the orientation sensor has created it that way. No problem. All you need to do is actually to rotate it, and then you can actually just stretch it out, and it will actually fill the frame. Note that there's also a way to skew it, and I've made a mistake. Instead of choosing the corner, I've selected the blue one. Okay, so notice there's a small change here. Now, if you are going to skew the video, this is the icon you see from your cursor. If you move to the corner here, it will actually stretch out. Okay, if you select and this icon is showing this way, then you're actually skewing that video. Okay, So for this purpose of this tutorial, we want it to be this way. Okay, and let me just move this track back to back. Okay, so let me show you how to trim a video here. Let's trim this video, make it a bit shorter. So at the moment, this trip duration is 9 seconds. All right, so to trim it, all you need to do is to select that clip, hover the mouse, make the icon turn up, okay, with the flame, and select it with your left mouse, and you can actually just drag it to the left, and you're actually trimming that clip. Okay, now the option shows up whether you want to just trim only. Now when you trim only, you will leave a gap here. Okay, so if you want to move it, you can actually move it manually to close the gap. Let me undo that, and to undo that, I'm going to click Ctrl Z. Okay, and I'm going to click Ctrl Z again. So let me show you the other option if you are trimming it. Okay, again, I'm left click and moving it to the left. Now if I select trim and move clip, this second clip here will actually move to the left to close up that gap. Okay, let me undo that. So that's the option for trimming clips. Now you can also just split it. Okay, so let's split the clip using this. This is to trim the unwanted portion. Here is splitting the selected clip. So let's split this, and then you can actually move it to the end or anywhere else, or you can also just delete it. So let me undo that. Same is if you want to delete this section, you can right click and remove it, press delete on your keyboard, and again the option is to remove and leave the gap, or remove and fill the gap is available to you, as well as remove, fill gap, and move all clips. Okay, this is let's try it. Let me show you what it means. Okay, so let me just put this image over here. Let's put the skateboard here on the second track. Okay, and let's do remove and move all clips. You'll notice that even the clip here, the clip on the second track also have moved, and it is in line. Okay, let me undo that. Now if you were to just select remove and fill the gap, only this top track or the tracks on the clips on the first track is moved to the left. So next, we were going to show you how to do some transitions. Alright, so let me just undo that. I have these two clips here. Okay, so to do transitions, you have your the options here. Okay, so things like effects room and the transitions is over here. So just click on transition. Let me just close this as well. Let's do transitions. And there are various types of transitions that you can choose. You can do something like 3D. Okay, let's choose this. This looks very interesting. To select the transition, just click on it, drag it down to your clip, between the two clips, and you have a transition. Okay, looks pretty nice. And if you want to adjust your transition, just right click on it and go to modify transition. And then here you are given whether you want to have an overlap or you want to have a cross. Okay, so when you notice that the length of that clip changes, when you overlap it, okay, you're actually moving this clip and you have overlapped that clip. When you're doing cross, the length of the clips remains the same. Okay, so let's play this and see. Okay, now if you were to do cross, play this. Okay, it's a little bit different. So select the ones that you prefer, and over here on the left you can also adjust the duration, whether you want the transition to happen faster or you want to have the transition to happen slower. Okay, so that's how you modify it and you are done. Okay, close it. So okay, so pretty interesting, all kinds of transitions that's available in PowerDirector 18. Okay, you can choose those. And let me just undo that transition, and to remove that transition, you can just, what you want to do is right click and remove. Okay, so only the transition is removed. Now next is actually the volume. Okay, over here you'll notice that there is a volume here, and this clip that has a volume, this volume is connected together. You can adjust the volume by going to the bottom here and moving it up and down to adjust the volume. Next, let me show you something about the opacity, okay, how to control opacity. And to do that, I will move this clip over here. It is a still image, okay. So for PowerLink Director 18, one thing that you have to be aware of is that the default setting means that the layer at the top is actually the layer at the bottom, okay? And the layers at the bottom means the furthest layer is the one that is actually show up on top of your video, all right? So that may take some getting used to. However, there is actually a setting to reverse that. Okay, so let me show you this about the opacity first, and then I'm going to show you the setting to kind of reverse how your tracks are actually set up. Okay, so as you can see here, under the default setting here, now this bicycle jump, all right, is actually covering the video behind. Okay, so let me just show you. I'm going to disable the video track, track 2, and you see what is actually at the bottom is this wrap present, okay, this Christmas gift. When I enable this track again, you will see the bicycle. So in order to change the opacity, there is a green bar here that's towards the top of the track. So if you select it with your mouse and kind of drag it down and you release it, you can kind of see that it becomes transparent. Okay, so let me move this. You can see that it is transparent. All right, that's how it is. Okay, so if you want to move it back to 100%, so that becomes fully it is no longer transparent and you can't see the track behind. Okay, now there is a setting that allows you to switch the tracks along. So what you need to do, go to edit, go to preferences. You can kind of rearrange the tracks, and this is actually under the editing. There is an option here which is to reverse the timeline tracks order, okay, with track 1 at the bottom. Now if you select this, click on OK, you'll notice that this track now goes to the bottom here. Okay, and this track is on top, which is what you would see in most regular video editors. Okay, so this is the default. There is an option for you to switch things around, so whichever way that you prefer to work. Now next, I want to show you how you can detach audio. You can right click and actually unlink the video and audio. So you have unlinked it. Now when you have unlinked it, you'll notice that the selection is different versus this one where the audio and video is still linked. So once you have unlinked this, you can actually you can move it around, you can delete it if you want to use a music clip. So that's the option that's available for you. Okay. Now, what about other things? Next, we'll look at say things like overlays or picture-in-picture. So let's select that. Okay, you can actually select a custom overlay. Let's say a dialog box. All right. Put it here. And you can adjust this by selecting the clip and then dragging this, rotating it. Okay, maybe a dialog box might not look so well here. Let's delete this. Let's try another thing. Okay, the other things like shapes. Okay, this will be useful. For example, if you have some arrows you want to use. Okay, so you can move this around. You can resize it. So next, let's go and let me just remove this. Let's add a text, let's add some titles. Okay, I'm going to add some titles to the back here. Okay, let's do this here and drag this down to the titles track. Now to modify it, again, right click, edit title. Okay, so I'm changing my name. Let's change it to black. Okay, so that's how you do that. All right, so there's tools to help you as well. So just click on OK. So now you have this, and you can also play this. Okay, so that's with choosing titles. Okay, next, one other feature I want to mention is actually the keyframe feature, and then next we're going to go to the actually producing the video. Okay, so I have a clip here, and I'm going to want to fade out that video. So one of the ways I can do that is actually to use the keyframe feature. So I'm just going to click on it. Okay, so here you have various options. For example, you can change the position of that video, the height, the width. But what we're going to do is actually focus on the opacity. Okay, so here, let's say for example, throughout this video, I want this to be even, and then towards the last bit, I want it to fade out. So let's click on keyframe again, go to the opacity. I'm going to click on this here, and you'll notice that there's a keyframe set, okay, at 100%. And then when I move to the end over here, towards the end of the clip, I'm going to set the opacity to 0, alright. And you can see it here. Okay, so this is actually the opacity settings, alright. But with keyframes, you can have this within that clip. Alright, so let's do this. I can show you. And it fades out. Okay, so you can do these keyframes with various things like audio, but okay, let me just pause this. But not all options will have the keyframe functions. For example, some of the effects like overlays doesn't have keyframes. Okay, so next, once you have your video done, I'm going to show you how to produce or export it. So just go to the Produce tab. Right, and there are various options. For example, you can do AVI, H264. Okay, so the normal one will be MP4 extension. You can do this one. This one is a newer, higher compression version that also produces MP4 files. Okay, so you can select, for example, your profiles that you want to, whether it is full HD or half HD. You can do that. So once you're done, all you need to do is basically to hit start. Okay, and of course here is actually the export folder. You can select which folder to export that video to. Before I go to my thoughts, I want to show you one last bit which I've promised but didn't do, which is to show you the storyboard. Now to switch from the full edit to the storyboard, all you need to do is click on the tab key. So storyboard is basically this. You're actually arranging things in blocks and chunks so that you can actually have an idea of the video that you want to make. For example, sometimes you have maybe too many clips and you're not quite sure which clip is supposed to go ahead of which one. So this storyboard feature will allow you to do that. For example, say, okay, let's say you want to show a lasagna here, all right. Okay, and then you have a turkey, all right. This is Christmassy theme, all right. So maybe you want to sort of like rearrange it. So the storyboard allows you to make this arrangement a lot easier compared to, say, arranging it on the timeline, okay, where you really need to drag and drop things properly for it to fit in, okay. And sometimes it may be goes too long, okay. Whereas when it comes to the storyboard, it's actually quite easy to see your story as it progresses from one part to another, okay, visually. So what's the verdict on Cyberlink PowerDirector 18? I have to say that there are a lot of things that I like. Okay, for example, I like that there are special effects there. Okay, and that the special effects, there is a special track for you to place it there. So if you are new, or even if you have been kind of an experienced video editor, sometimes you're not quite sure what are effects you have placed on your certain clip. So certain video editors, you just place the effect right on the clip itself. So if you want to check, you kind of have to check every clip, all right? Whereas here it's all on a single track itself. All right, so that makes it easier to check back what type of effects that you have placed. Second thing is that these effects here are also very, there's quite a lot of effects. Okay, things that I like, for example, the particles. I haven't tried everything. Okay, I also like the things that are transitions. Some of the transitions looks very cool, like the digital transitions, the flip boxes. And although I didn't show it in in this part of the tutorial, you can actually layer several transitions together for a combined effect. Okay, so that's the other thing that I like. Now, the other things that I like is actually the titles or the text. All these type of small things actually make your video more, I would say, pop Okay, make it more modern kind of way rather than the kind of some video editors kind of boring. And the thing is, it's all set. All you need to do is to just select it and use it, and you don't really need to do much. And even at the beginning of this video, when I had that transition, it was all done with PowerDirector. All I need to do is just replace the text, and it was good to go. Just take me something like 2 minutes. All right, so. There are other things that I like. The other thing, that, although that I didn't mention so much, is actually there's also an audio mixing room. Okay, for you to mix the audio, that's available as well. So you can kind of adjust it, and the voiceover recording built into that software. Okay, so I didn't demo this, but it's available if you are using that. Okay, now comes to the cons. Something that I didn't really like initially is that the way the tracks are arranged. Now, by default, the track 1 is actually on top, and then it kinds of the other tracks are at a lower area, lower point. Like for example, the special effects, the audio is all down there. Now, I kind of see the rationale for that, because normally when you build a video, you kind of like concentrate on one track, mainly to put most of your clips there, and then later on when you layer your video, then you kind of add things on top. All right, so since you're going to spend so much time on track 1 anyway, and you spend less time on the lower tracks, then it makes sense to arrange it the way the default is arranged. All right, but I had some difficulty initially to get used to it. And then later I found out that there was a preference that you can switch that up, switch it up. Okay, so you can actually switch it back and forth depending on how you want to edit it. So the thing that I didn't really get so used to is that the audio and the video track, for example, this track 2, okay, the audio and video is all combined together. All right, whereas some of the video editors I'm more familiar with, there's all the stacks. For example, the video is all on top one layer, and then the audio is all a separate section. Okay, so that is something that I still haven't really gotten used to, but I guess that it is actually just something that you will have to get used to, and then be familiar, be okay with that. Now, there's also a way that you can just add an audio track without adding a video track. There's a possibility, so it's quite simple. And let me just show you. For example, you're going to add tracks. You can select whether you want to add 2 video tracks and 0 audio tracks, or 0 video tracks and 1 or 2 audio tracks. So you can do that as well within the track manager. So overall, I feel that this is actually a good software if you are choosing a video editor. I have a few other reviews. One is for another paid software, and 2 other video reviews which are free video editors. Please check them out on the link